Hello, and welcome back to the AL Central Rundown. With me today is only.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Sam.
So Dan is hopefully not dealing with a bad 2 weeks notice going on, and Oren, I believe, has a softball game. He's still trying to be an athlete. I've long lost that battle, so I'm here. We just had the All Star game ballot just kind of drop. We got our first update, so I think we'll talk about that for a fair amount of the episode. But it's been a pretty blah week of baseball. At
Yeah,
least
it's been up and down for a lot
For
of
the
us.
most part, yeah.
Over the weekend, the division went 1-12. So that was
Mm.
fun. That one win went to the Tigers, who managed to gain a game on the division despite losing two to Cincinnati in awful fashion.
we talked about this last week, and it's just like that's the thing that Dan said. It was one of the more demoralizing things. Like every week, the Tigers seem to pick up a game. It doesn't matter what else the rest of the division does, or like how well they play or how poorly they play. It's just Tigers are one more game better against the division than they were the week before, and
Yeah.
that's true this week. I'll just start showing the standings. Nothing's well, no, actually, quite a bit has changed because the Twins have not played better. Detroit 6-4 in their last 10, still with a monster run differential. Cleveland doing 4-6 the last 10. Minnesota 3-7, and they're lucky for the three. Kansas City 4-6 with a 3-game winning streak, so that's pretty exciting. And then you have the White Sox, who are now going back to what the White Sox were supposed to do all season. They're 2-8 their last 10 and have a 23 runs, 23 wins in the season. Team hitting, I kind of adjusted how I present this, so if this is a little weird to everyone, I'm very sorry, but rather than just show where everyone is at, baseball reference actually allows you to just show you what the league average is, and I figured that would be just as helpful. So this is for the American League. The Tigers, by far the best offense. An average, the league average team is scoring 310 runs. The Tigers at 350. Everyone else is below that. The Twins are somewhat mediocre, but they're kind of riding fumes of that winning streak they had earlier. Then the Guardians, White Sox, and Royals have the worst offense in the American League.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot, actually. I've
Mhm.
watched a fair.
Yeah.
We talked about that last
Yeah.
week.
I can confirm.
I mean, after watching the last Tigers Royals series, I'm like, yeah, I get it. This is kind of unbearable.
But
Hmm.
Sam, how do you watch this offense? Is it like how?
Um, that's a great question, and I'm gonna say something that I probably shouldn't really admit to on this podcast. I really haven't been dedicating that much time to watching this team
Oh no.
over the past like 2 weeks or so. I kind of, you know, I've had a lot of other stuff going on with the move, and I've got a wedding this weekend, and I had the bachelor party 2 weeks ago, and I really haven't been watching,
Yeah.
with my eyes glued to the screen that much. And a lot of the times I'll get the notification on my phone that, the Royals lost 2-0 or 3-1 or, whatever it is. And I'm just like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't dedicate my time to watching that. Now, granted, that being said, the Royals are now coming off a 3-game winning streak in which they scored 6 runs, and then 4 runs. So, I mean,
Against
that's
the
a
Rangers, who have
against the
great
Rangers, who historically, I mean, at least this year, have had a very good pitching staff
Yep.
and historically have done very well against the Royals in the past 10 years or so. Um, so it's just, yeah, sometimes my fandom with the Royals will be sort of, I'll say I'll watch them when they deserve it. When I determine that the Royals deserve my eyeballs, then that's when they'll get them. But as of the last, you know, 2 weeks. I've kind of had a lot better things to do with my life, to tell you.
I will.
I mean, I basically did a lot of the last few years the Tigers suck. Because, I mean, especially in like 21, 22, you watch the first 4 innings, they give up 3 runs. It's like, well, the game's over. They're not going to score anything. I'll go do something else with my time right now.
Essentially, that is the exact point I stop watching the Royals. If I'm just kind of like cruising like on MLB TV, once it's a 2-run lead for the other team, there's no reason for me to continue watching. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe that's really pessimistic considering the team that I'm watching right now is not doing much better than that. But, yeesh, that's a really bad. It's Bobby Witt and black holes.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, there's been some good power, some good run scoring this last series against the Rangers, but when you're coming off a winless homestand and you're coming off scoring all of, let me see what it was. You had a winless homestand where you scored, let's see, 5, 9, 11 runs in 6 games at home.
Ouch. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, speaking of homestand, okay, so I wanted to ask, and I forgot about this. So, does the Kauffman Stadium do the Sasquatch walk thing every single time Pasquantino walks? What is the deal with that?
Oh, Lee, they do it every single time Vinny does anything. Okay, so there's that little door above the Hall of Fame at Kauffman Stadium. Okay, and what used to happen is that they have like the Hall of Fame building there where they have like a bunch of museum exhibits of like memorabilia and stuff, and there used to be a man who was a historical reenactor who dressed up as an old-timey baseball player who would like do tours of the Hall of Fame. His name was Casey. And whenever the Royals won, there was like a W sign, and he would come out of the Hall of Fame and he would hang up the W. And at one point, this was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago now, he was fired. Or the Royals moved on from him, or whatever it was. But now what they do is they have a man who's dressed up like Sasquatch who hides behind that little door above the Hall of Fame, and like you can see him. Like when Vinny Pasquantino is at bat, the TV broadcast will show the Pasquatch hiding behind the door because there's a little gap, and you can see him. You can see the man in the costume behind the door. And then if he gets a walk, if he gets a hit, if he literally does anything that isn't getting out, the Pasquatch will come out and he'll do like the little.
Oh God, I have not seen this. But
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that they did it like one time when the Tigers were there, and then I saw they did it again. I don't know, the last homestand, and I was like, "Wait, is this just a thing they do every day game?" Because I thought it was like a one-time thing, but that's really funny.
Oh yeah, it's a capital T thing.
That's great. Imagine that being your job. You'd be like, "Oh, so what do you do for work?"
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna guess he's not a full-time employee.
But what if he is?
Right? Does he have another job with the team, or is his only role to go there dress up as a Sasquatch for 3 hours?
I can only imagine there's some poor intern underneath that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you gotta imagine, like
some poor guy who's like, "Oh, I was a mascot performer when I was in high school," and yeah.
They're like, "Oh, here you go. Here's a Sasquatch costume."
Yeah.
I wonder how much you get paid for that, though. That's so funny.
I'm gonna guess not much.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm going to assume there's probably T-shirts, and they're going to try to cash that in, right?
Oh, Eric, there are.
I was about to say that's where that makes sense.
Yeah. There. Believe you me, there is Pasquatch-related merchandise aplenty.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Can't hate it. I mean, really at least like the Pasquatch is at least like somewhat clever. The Twins have the Buck truck, which is fine. It's Bucks and hits a home run. His dad was a semi driver, and like he does the arm thing every time he hits a home run. That's nice. After that, they do this weird, like, I don't know what this is, but every time they do a hit, they do this, and I don't know if it's like a call me or like ring me up or something like that. But it's weird.
Eric, I have the answer.
Do you?
Yes, the answer is it's a weird thing that baseball players do.
Right.
Baseball
Everyone needs a
players
little
do
celebration.
weird, random stuff.
But the most random, and this is the last one I'll do. Ryan Jeffers, for like the last couple of years, he'll do this, but if he gets a double, he'll do like this motion, like every time. And I don't know what it is. It's probably something gross. And he was also the keeper of the rally sausage last year, so I don't know if something is right with Ryan Jeffers and his mental, but that's a catcher for you. Anyway, that was it. Did the Tigers do anything of note, or it's just like the hacksaw thing?
It's the sawbone thing. That's pretty much
Bone saw.
Bone saw. Yeah, that's what they do for extra base hits. So I don't know what because they have I don't know what the other one is. They still don't have a home run celebration because Torque passed that off to Jake Rogers, and then Rogers just never did anything with it. And they're like, dude, you gotta think of something. And he's like, I'm too old school. I can't think of anything. But I guess they just don't have a home run celebration this year.
Just bring back the pizza trident.
Right, exactly. Just bring back the pizza spear. That's what I'm saying. But I guess I don't know what they did with it. I don't know.
It's either that or it's Detroit, or get like one of those like children's like cars and just drive that through the dugout as you're going down.
There you go. They were trying to think of something basketball related because they did hockey. They had a Red Wings helmet a couple of years ago. They were trying to think of something basketball, but they couldn't like figure out how to work that in. I'm like, dude, Jake, you were on the IL for a month. You had all this time to think of something. But
he was rehabbing. He was trying to get better.
Yeah, I guess he's.
Yeah,
I guess
no time for celebrations.
I mean, if they want to be inspired by the Pistons, just go to the bad boy Pistons, just beat the crap out of everyone that's around.
Exactly, Malice in the Palace. Just do something with that. I don't know.
I mean, if they want to be inspired by the Pistons, they can just lose again in the playoffs.
Wah wah.
That's not very nice of you.
Yeah, I mean, and the Lions too. You know.
Fun. That. Enjoy those reminders.
Well, yes. Anyway, the team is still up like 9.5 games in the division. I think we're going to sit here in our salty pit is what we're going to do. I just got to go over pitching very quickly. Detroit has the best team ERA, followed Kansas City, Minnesota, Guardians, and then it's the league average, and the White Sox are only about a quarter of a run below league average. So better pitching than hitting, but you can also debate if that's good pitching or if that's just really crappy hitting.
Well, the White Sox bullpen is just garbage. They have good starting pitching. It's their bullpen that's dragging them down so much in the ERA. I think by starter ERA, they're actually pretty average.
Yeah,
or slightly above average.
I mean, the Twins have been sliding down that. I expect them to keep sliding down that because talked about it last week. There's a lot of question marks in that rotation. Suddenly they gotta hope they can get to Pablo when he's not back until August. Zebby, I think, returns hopefully in July, maybe the All-Star break-ish, but I'm not sure. But speaking of the All-Star break, we somehow are far enough into the season where we got our first updates, so I thought it would be kind of fun just to see who's on the top 10. MLB put out the article. I just went on Baseball Reference and just did by position filter by WAR. They had to play 40 games at the position in order for me to search it. So there's a couple like Salvador Perez was at 38 games as catcher, so he didn't quite qualify, but I don't think that's going to matter if he makes the All-Star game anyway. And then there's I forget the guy
making the All-Star game.
Yeah. I'm going to say that a lot about the Twins today too, but thought it would be just kind of interesting just to see how the division is faring and if the East Coast or the coast biased is still hurting the team or still hurting the division. So here we go. On the left side of the screen is what the vote totals are, obviously, and then on the right is just the WAR by that position. So the I don't think it's very surprising for first base that Paul Goldschmidt, as a Yankee, who's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer, uh, is on the biggest market in baseball, as having a pretty decent year. It's not stellar, but he has a 797 OPS. He's 37 years old. I don't see why he won't continue to get that. He doesn't deserve it necessarily, but that secondary in All Star fan voting.
Mm-hmm.
Torkelson down to 4. I was kind of surprised, happily surprised by that. And then Pasquantino is at 6. Carlos Santana and Ty France nowhere to be seen, which is fine. Technically, if you want to just compare the 1 through 10, he is 9th in first baseman WAR, but that doesn't matter. So Spencer Torkelson, 4th in
Yeah.
first baseman Lee. How you feeling?
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, I'd like him to be a little up there, but I can't really argue too much about who's ahead of him in the voting, really. I mean, Aranda, Guerrero, Goldschmidt, those are... Yeah, I mean, Aranda's having a great year. Goldschmidt's having a good year. Guerrero's having a... He's been up and down a little bit. I think he's having a good year, too. By WAR, he is, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's just really great to see, especially for a guy who was, like, not definitely going to have a roster spot to start off the year, too. So it's just really good. I mean, I'd love for him to make the All-Star game. Don't know if he will. I don't think he will, but I mean,
I don't. I think because we'll get to it in the other couple other slides here, but Detroit fan base is showing up for the All Star.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. But Pasquantino, number 6.
Yeah, good to see him where he's at. He got off to such a slow start this year, and he's been pretty hot recently over the last month or so. I believe he won Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. So good to see him where he's at. I mean, I don't think he's going to make it, but it's better that he's here and not where he was at the beginning of the season.
Where's he at arbitration? I feel like is he at arbitration yet?
That's a good question. I don't know because he came up in 22, perhaps, and he was.
Yeah, he's right on the edge then. Assuming it was only for a cup of coffee in 22, he'd be at least in his final year of cheap or pre-arbitration.
Yeah, so he's going to be okay. So next year
is arbitration.
Is arbitration for him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. He's yet to play a full season in MLB.
Oh, because injuries, right?
It's surprising because he's had some injuries here and there. But he is his most number of games that he's played was definitely last year. Okay, so he played 131 games last year.
Yep.
Which is that's fine. But the previous 2 seasons, he only played 61 games in 23, and then he was a middle of the year call up in 22. So, and he played 72 games. So he's yet to play more than 140 games. So we'll see if that happens this year.
Dan's not here to talk about him, but Carlos Santana is just doing a Carlos Santana thing. Everyone thought he was cooked the first month, and don't get me wrong, he's not stellar. He has a 712 OPS. But for 39 years old, I mean, I bet if you look at the end of the season, if he keeps this up, it's on pace for what? Just under, I don't know, a 2.3 WAR, something like that. That's probably going to be one of the more productive seasons by a 39-year-old. So can't hate it. Don't know when he's going to retire. He's probably going to go to another team next year and then sign back with Cleveland one more time because he just can't seem to get away. At the lone, well, he's not even on the top 10 voting. Ty France, I think I've said this pretty much all year. He's been fine. He is a below average hitter for a first baseman. He's had a lot of RBIs. I think he's hitting like 370 with runners in scoring position. That's all great. He was a minor league signing. I don't know much more they could have really expected from Ty France on a minor league deal.
Yeah, his first 3 weeks of the season were pretty significant, and then he's really not been as great as of then.
He's not impressive. Like he's fine. He's fine. He should be a placeholder, but my fear is they really don't have anyone to place over him. Sounds ludicrous considering first base should be the easiest spot to find someone who can hit. Twins just seem to not want to do that. Second base. This is where the Tigers have been showing up. However, the fan vote and Baseball Reference seem to be in agreement. Gleyber Torres. I was down on that signing. I've been wrong the entire time. So Lee, tell us why Gleyber is the best.
He's been really good. He is the guy that you want on base. He's the guy that you want at the plate with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's just been so consistent. He's had no slumps, no real highs. I mean, he went a month without hitting any home runs, but he went and hit 2 the other day. He gets hits, he gets on base. I don't know if it still stands right now, but at one point, a couple weeks ago, he had more walks than strikeouts. He does not strike out a lot. He does not ground into double bases a lot. He gets on base. He's just been a really good, quietly very good offseason signing for us. And it's not really gotten in the way of positioning because we've been able to have Torkin first, and Keith has been fine at third. Or Keith will platoon or DH or whatever. So it's just been really good signing, and he's a really good veteran presence because I say veteran, he's 28, but he's older than most of our batters.
That's a solid veteran right there.
Yeah. So he's been really good for us. I don't know if it was an attitude change when the Yankees didn't re-sign him, or just something with the Tigers coaching clicked with him better. But he's been better on the base paths. His defense has been fine, if not great. He hasn't had a lot of bad errors, but he's had some really good plays. He's just been a really good guy for us. He's been one of our most consistent bats to have. So I'm really glad we signed him. A lot of people weren't necessarily high on the signing because, we had a second baseman. He wasn't great last season, but he's been really good. So very happy with what he's done for us.
I'd have to look at his career average. I don't think a 789 OPS per second baseman is obviously very good. I don't think that's out of line with his career OPS. I just think
he had a couple really big years, in 2019, I want to say.
I just think in New York, once they don't like you, they're just going to try to push you out of town, and that feels like that's what they tried doing with him.
Yeah, so in 2019, he had an 871 OPS, 535 slugging.
What's his career?
His career is 775.
Yeah, 789. That's right, smack dab.
Yeah, and his on base percentage this year is the highest of his career. He's slugging a little more than he was last year. He's slugging a little bit below average, but he's getting on base more to compensate for that because his strikeout rate is way down and his walk rate is way up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's just been really good for us. Really good. I think he should be the starting second baseman. He looks like he will be, and he deserves it. Not a lot of competition at second, but
I was about to say it's a really weak class. I don't know if this is always second base, but
the fact that Altuve is third is
right. Well, he's been. I don't understand why he's even allowed to be voted in that position.
Why is he listed on third, or is he listed in the outfield?
Yes, this is MLB's ranking. So unless they're
I didn't know that they're that's. I guess
he's playing left. But also Brandon Rogers, who's ninth in WAR for the voting. Oh, that does ninth in WAR for second baseman. He's been replacement level, and I don't understand that signing at all. I don't understand why you move your first ballot Hall of Famer to the outfield. I don't know.
Because they did it to make room for Bregman, but then they didn't sign Bregman and they didn't move Altuve back. It's so dumb.
Right.
They
It's
wanted
weird.
to hide his declining defense, so they put him in left field. Like, put him in right, at least. But I guess left is the Crawford boxes, so you don't have to...
Well, I mean,
don't
left field.
understand it.
Left field, that's where you're typical. It depends on your outfield, but like if you're gonna have a weak arm, that's where you're gonna stick your worst outfielder, I guess.
They always do that for right field. I guess for the Astros, they have the Crawford box and the big wall and left, so it makes more
Well,
sense.
right field, you want a strong arm because you have to throw to third once in a while, or for tag ups. But for left field, the third base is right there. He hasn't been impressive regardless.
I guess they put them in right for players who are slower or don't have to do as much reading, I guess.
Yeah.
And Altuve has been a replacement level player this year. He has a WAR of 0.
Yeah.
It is pouring rain right now in Detroit. I think they're postponing it. It's bottom of the 9th, tied, but it's pouring rain. It looks like they might be delaying it.
Oh, they'll pick it up tomorrow. There's no reason to finish that for today.
No, we're going to Tampa tomorrow.
Oh, never mind. Well, that sucks.
Today was the doubleheader because we delayed it yesterday because it rained all day, all evening. Well. So, the umpire is screaming at the Pirates dugout right now. I don't know what's going on. I have it muted. So.
Yeah, who's winning?
It's tied 4-4.
Yeah, they're going to finish that. That sucks. It's going to be like a 2 a.m. game. You're not going to know what that is until the end. Oh, on a getaway day, too. That sucks.
Yeah, well, we play Pittsburgh again, I think, in July. So I guess we'll do one of those.
This is going to probably be one of those ones where it's like, yeah, we'll finish this if we need it.
I wonder if they don't do that. Because this game isn't going to be continued in the opposite ballpark.
I guess,
they're going to have to finish it.
Yeah, they're delaying it. They're pulling out the tarp.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
They
what the
could just
plan
end
is.
up pushing it till the end of the season, though.
Yeah, I wonder because they do that once in a while. I wonder if that won't be the case. That's interesting.
It's supposed to be raining all evening. The hope was to finish the game in time before the rain got here. Well, it looks like they might not be happening.
They should have gone faster.
Yeah, because they had to do a doubleheader today because it was a whole debacle earlier.
Just going down the list, Jackson Holiday, I guess, like it just as fine as I'm not gonna point between Schneemann it's half a win. I don't know. I don't think Daniel Schneemann was expected to be an All-Star this year anyway. I don't think he's even going to be considered as a reserve, but it's nice to see he's a 28-year-old rookie. Good for him. It's kind of interesting that Jimenez is 4th in WAR and 6th for the Blue Jays, but it seems like that trade's working out just fine for Cleveland. They haven't really missed a beat. If anything, they've improved slightly. You will notice, Willie Castro, who has not really played a lot of second base, but I guess that's where they put him. He's been the super utility guy. He's been very good, but it's really been within the last 3 weeks. He's been kind of injured. Like, he's been banged up most of the season, and he's just kind of getting healthy now. I'm not seeing a Royal here, though. Massey. Okay, now I understand why.
Move along.
I didn't.
Don't need to continue that.
My opinions on Michael Massey are known.
I really wasn't trying to set that up to rub that dirt in, but okay, my bad. Hey everyone, Dan's here. Hey Dan.
Hey
everybody.
We're going over the All-Star ballots, but
oh nice.
Yeah, those just came out. So yeah, how's it going? How the Guardians been doing? You're fresh off of work. Look at this dedication.
Well, 2 things. I left abruptly last week, so I figured it was only appropriate I showed up abruptly here today.
Your power just came on now.
Yeah, right. Thank God that's not true. But we had that happen last year. A tornado came through with less power for 5 days. Anyway, Guardians had a tough series in San Francisco the last 3 days. They took 2 of 3 in that series, and the struggles at the plate continue. Though I think they scored a combined 9 runs, 8 runs in the 3 ball games. 8 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, and 1. they scored a few runs. It wasn't very many, less than double digits in a 3-game series, and so they scratched and clawed their way to a couple victories there against a really good Giants team. So there's something good to feel about there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the offense continues to struggle in a way that it has recently. And like I was saying last week when I was on, it's not necessarily really fun baseball to watch, even with a couple W's. So that's the biggest thing. Stephen Kwan won them a game with his arm on Tuesday. Doubled off a guy on second base in the 8th inning, and then his arm deterred a guy from tagging up from third in the 9th. So that was huge. And then Daniel Schneemann had a 3-run home run off of Verlander on Wednesday night that propelled them to victory. They lost a tough one today, 2-1. Gavin Williams looked awesome. He's really seems like he's rounding into form. 6 innings, 6 Ks, but just couldn't scratch any runs across. And then Stephen Vogt's getting kind of raked across the coals a little bit right now because in that close ball game tonight, he decided to throw Matt Festa for a 3rd straight day as opposed to going to somebody that's got a little bit better of a pedigree out of that bullpen. And Festa gave up 2 runs, and a 1-0 lead turned into a 2-0 loss. So that kind of thing happens. Eric, I know your opinion on kind of bullpen decisions, and I think there were a number of other factors there that could have gone differently, and it's not just that one decision. But
Right. Well,
that's that's my quick 2 minutes on how they're doing so far.
For bullpen, man, like you're flipping coins regardless of who you're pulling in anyway. So like, if I'm coming across as like I'm a bullpen management expert, I'm sure as hell am not, because like I would tell you what I would do before, but I can't. I'm not going to tell you that I would manage a bullpen efficiently, or that just because you pulled this trigger doesn't mean the other option wasn't also going to fail in the worst possible way. Also.
Yeah. I think
75% of the time when bullpen management is criticized, it's all hindsight stuff, right? It's all result-based criticism. Like you can't always criticize when stuff goes wrong, just because it went wrong. You know.
I will say it was a interesting decision in a 1-run ball game to throw that particular individual 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying that it wasn't. Like particularly maybe a mistake, but I'm also saying that sometimes managers always get a lot of flack for making bullpen decisions that result in negative results based purely on the result. Because if you can make the same decision and it could make same decision, different result, and would be genius. Even though he
or no commentary about it at all, which is probably what would happen. You know.
Well, not for that. They won the first 2 games of the series.
Yes. So they were using the high leverage guys earlier in the close ball games. So
you're trying to get out of town with a somewhat in town, but like I can see it. But now would I have chosen a different reliever instead of a pitch guy 3 days in a row? Probably, but I don't know the whole story of the bullpen. But
whatever. And now that I've looked at my piece of paper, it's 8 runs. You guys, you won 2 games in the series scoring 8 runs. So count your blessings a little bit too. Against a pretty good Giants team. So
the Giants team has very little offense. They just added offense in Rafael Devers.
I was about to say
very little offense.
An offense that got better just before they played Cleveland.
He got his first hit on Tuesday night. He had a double in Triples Alley, but it's a double because it's Devers. But yeah, he's there. He's ready to go.
Yeah. Good.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Appreciate you letting me go off about how things have been going.
Hey, no problem. Well, actually, so we'll just bring up the All Star ballot. We just went over first base. The only one is Santana. He's not doing outstanding, but for a 39-year-old, doing pretty well.
I'm surprised, and I don't know if we're still doing a AL Central All Star team or not. But was Torkelson not on there?
So this is what the voting. So on the left is the vote. On the right is just if Baseball Reference agrees with the vote. Just filtering by WAR if they played 40 games. So take with that from you, Will.
Okay.
But yeah, he's 8th.
I love it's a huge gap between 4th and 5th, though. It's the 4 guys everyone can agree on are actually good, and then it's
there we go.
Everyone voting for their own team.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Second base, the only real surprise, Daniel Schneemann not really being considered, but Was anyone going to consider Daniel Sneeman 3 months ago?
Yeah, he's just not known at this point. He's had a good start to the year, but
Yeah, it's Graybar and the field. And it's not like Torres is doing great, don't get me wrong, but it's
I'm
just,
surprised Chisholm isn't higher, just because of kind of like name. People know
Just
who
because
he
he's on
is.
the
He was on the
Yankees.
cover of the show. He's playing for the Yankees. Like,
Well, he got off to a really bad start, and then he got injured a bit.
right.
So that might have brought it down a little
Well,
bit.
you also
That
have
makes
Jose
sense.
Altuve somehow sucking 400,000 votes away from a position he doesn't play anymore.
Also, people don't like Chisholm.
Yeah,
That's-
people don't like him.
I'm
Which is
among
sad.
them, so that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like him. I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, shortstops. I don't know where the hell Jacob Wilson came out of, but good for him. He's having a great year.
Yeah, how about that?
But don't think I would have called the Sacramento A's having the lead unless and it's not even like the A's had a lot of voter turnout in their other spots. So everyone in Oakland, sorry, not Oakland, Sacramento is just voting for Jacob Wilson. Then you have Bobby Witt, and then Jeremy Pena, and then you just have the field. Well, Bo Bichette, and then the field. Pretty big drop off.
My knowledge of Jacob Wilson is I was looking up some stats recently regarding Stephen Kwan and kind of his bat to ball skills and that kind of thing. And I was looking for like a good stat where like, okay, Kwan has the lowest K rate while hitting 300 or something,
Right.
and Jacob Wilson topped him in every single one. And I
Oh, really?
couldn't. Yeah. So
That's
that's his MO is he's high contact and he's hitting like I don't even know, three high, low to mid
Right.
300s. At least at the
He's-
time I was looking.
He's
He has an
insane.
899 OPS. So whatever he's doing well.
Yes.
I think I don't know, but I think at one point he was like on pace to, or at least close to, beating Ichiro's record for hits as a rookie.
Oh. That'd be
Yeah, I
hell
don't know
of
if
a
he's still on that pace, but I know there was like a thing. Like, he's got 99 hits already. He's batting 359 right now.
Yeah. I think this is probably going to be the biggest area where someone's going to get snubbed because you look at these WAR numbers
Yeah.
for these shortstops are pretty significant. And I think one of the things is not to be a hometown fan. Bobby Witt Jr. is making it,
He'll
whether
get there.
through the fan vote or through a reserve selection. His name and his,
Right.
he's going to be there. So I think you're going to probably see one of these guys get snubbed.
I mean, they're going to take, especially with second base, they're going to take 3 or 4 shortstops.
Probably.
Bobby Witt is going to be one of them.
It
I
is
don't see it.
absolutely pouring in Detroit right now. I don't know if they're going to win or are they going to play this game. They have to because they fly to Tampa tonight.
I was a bit surprised to see Arias at least on the top, not as far as WAR, so on the right side. I don't think anyone would ever consider voting for him outside of Cleveland, but
Neto, I feel like, should be higher because he's been doing really well in the voting.
no, yeah, in LA, but like also LA Angels fans are very depressed for the last,
Yeah.
I don't know, eternity.
Yeah,
Why
last
they
10
have a
years.
fan base, I don't understand.
The
Yeah,
fact that
just
Trey Sweeney has 150,000 votes is very surprising. He should not be.
Trace, yeah. Well, what
Yeah,
position does he? Because he's a utility guy, isn't he?
No, he's just short. He's a guy that might be going down when Veerling comes back. He's just not been hitting very well. He's good defensively, but he's had a bunch of errors. It's just been really up and down. It's his bat we're worried about. He just might have some things he needs to work out in Toledo for a bit. We'll see when Veerling comes back, but yeah, he's a left-handed shortstop, so he's going to have a place right now.
Sure.
So
yeah, no other real surprises except for if you look on 13th for Carlos Correa is now a replacement level player. That's great.
Two things on my end regarding Arias. He's really cooled off offensively after that hot start. He's still great defensively, and so he's providing value. Obviously, you could see his WAR there. But the other thing I wanted to mention, shout out to Chase Meadroff, actually having 1.1 WAR, being a decent ball player there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to acknowledge that.
I think he's got a really good chance to develop into like a really good player.
Absolutely.
23 years old, holding his own. I don't know. Like even if you're just an average, if you can play shortstop and just can pretend to hit, you're a valuable player.
Yeah.
Yeah. No other real surprises there. Third base. I don't think we can say Jose Ramirez is overlooked anymore because he's almost.
He's
more
what,
than
fifth
doubled.
year in a row for most overlooked player award? I mean, yeah. That's this narrative.
You can't quite combine the rest of the field for his total, but it's much closer than I think you would think. So I don't know. Is this Jose's best season so far, or no?
I would say offensively, no. I think last year was a better year. I think maybe a little bit of this is the coattails of the great year he had last year, where he almost went 40, 40, 40.
Sure.
He hasn't been quite that. Don't get me wrong. He's been good, but he hasn't been to the same level necessarily that he was last year, in my opinion.
I don't know. 914 OPS. I don't think he had that last year, did he?
That's fair. I have to check on that. I'm thinking maybe more just the raw totals. I know when I checked a little bit ago, he wasn't on that same 40, 40, 40 pace. But to be fair, I didn't look at anything deeper than that.
Right. No, that's fair. Garcia, is that maybe the reserve? Well, I mean, a pitcher. It's going to be a Royal pitcher. But
I would definitely, based on the season that Garcia is having, and how much of a surprise it is that he's kept this up, I would like to see him get in there. I think there's too many guys ahead of him, and I think he isn't a big enough name. Maybe like final vote. Does the final vote still exist?
I think so.
I forget how it works now because I know there's like player and coach selection and stuff like that.
Well, then you have the players who just don't want to play or who are injured and all that stuff. So I mean, there's going to be.
I don't know if Bregman's going to be
50
back
people named to this team, so he has an outside chance. But
shout out to my boy Zach McKinstry. He deserves to make it off of utility if there's a utility spot. But
they didn't have that listed though.
Yeah,
or at least in the article.
He's up there.
The final vote has not existed since 2018.
I think it's really funny that Zach got put in at third because I think he's mostly played like right or left. He's played a good amount of third, but he's not the most position. Our third base is kind of a mess. It's by committees, but I guess it's Zach McKinstry. But I mean, I wouldn't have said him, but sure.
I mean, when you can name no one else, I don't see why that doesn't work. Miguel Vargas, I don't know much about him, but while we're counting out Chase Meadroth, probably the closest thing. I mean, the White Sox are probably also going to want the token reliever as their all-star, but I just have, there obviously is no voting for pitching, but I did pull like the top 40, relievers and top 20 starting pitchers we can look at anyway.
Just real quick on that, two things. Ramirez, I went ahead and looked up. I was right. He's still not on that the doubles home runs pace that he was on last year. But what he has done is he's hitting 319, which he had an ongoing on base streak that went for almost 40 games. Like that tracks. I should have thought of that. But yeah, last year he hit 279, I think, and this year he's hitting 314. That's the difference between the 2 years. Oh yeah, and also I want to mention Ernie Clement, former Guardian, third in third base WAR, former utility infielder. So he's had a couple good years in Toronto now.
Has he? I just haven't paid attention to him then.
He was pretty good last year for them too. Maybe not to this level, but.
Do we know what's the batting like? Is it who was it? The shortstop? Is it Jacob Wilson? Is that who's leading the batting title right now?
Probably.
I think it's still Judge.
It might.
Oh yeah, it's Judge.
Catchers, it's Cal Raleigh in the field. I mean, in both votes and perform. I mean, he roasted the Twins. If Cal Raleigh doesn't play, like that was the series where the Twins went into extras or it was a walk-off or a whatever every game. I mean, I think he had like 4 home runs in 3 games. He's a monster this year. But as far as the division, Dingler, that was on no one's bingo card.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, and it's not just his bat. He is defensively probably the best American League catcher this year. in terms of like he's top in caught stealing, he's top in like blocks. He's really good at framing. I mean, no one is running on the Tigers because we've got Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers back there, and they're both amazing. And Dylan he threw out Bobby Witt. He had a great play the other day to have like a really low pitch, but he got the runner out off a really good jump. I think his pop time is like average, but his arm is so fast it makes up for it in the difference because he gets it out of his glove really fast. I forget this couple stats that are lower, but his arm speed is just so high it makes up for it, and no one wants to run on him. He's got like the highest caught stealing percentage in the American League right now, and his bat is really good. I mean, he's hitting 732 OPS, which is pretty good for a catcher. He's got some good power. I mean, he's been great for us. I mean, when Jake Rogers went down with an injury, we're like, oh shit, is this going to be really bad? But Dingler has been really good behind the plate in terms of like he's been really good at calling games. He's been really good blocking, framing, all that metrics. And his bat is just so much better than Rogers. He earned that starting catcher role. I mean, I say he stole it because like he only got it because Jake got injured. But like he earned that because he was so important for us. And he's been that way all year. So really, really happy for him. I want him to back up Big Dumper so bad. I am stuffing the ballot for this guy.
Nickname. I hate that.
Oh, it's so funny.
I hate
I recently got a Nintendo Switch 2. Buddy of mine came over and he bought 2 of them, so he sold me one. But he brought Mario Kart World, and there's a kart in Mario Kart World called the Little Dumpy, and I saw it, and all I could think of was Cal Raleigh.
It's like a tiny Cal Raleigh.
No, it's just like a little dump truck, but it's called the Little Dumpy. I was just like, that should be a new nickname for Cal Raleigh.
Well, only slightly better than the one he currently has.
Yeah, Dingler unfortunately he just passed the rookie requirement last year by like a few games, so he doesn't qualify as a rookie this year. Otherwise, he would be. I mean, Jacob Wilson's running away with rookie of the year, but otherwise, Dingler would be in that conversation because he's been that good. It's like so it's not technically his rookie year, but it's like functionally his rookie year if we're looking at that. But I'm really happy with him.
Eric and Sam, may I spread some anti-Tigers propaganda real quick?
Yes.
Please.
Please do.
Dylan Dingler, strikeout rate, 27%. Walk rate, 2.4%.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that is not sustainable.
No.
It's gotten better. He started off
It's gotten better?
He started off with like the first 30 games or 40 games or something ridiculous. He didn't walk until the Colorado series last in like what was that, May? Yeah, so the fact that he started walking a little bit more.
How many total walks does he have?
BABIP 346.
Yeah, that'll go down. That's not outrageous, but yes, that's gonna come.
It's high, but you're right, it's not outrageous. 5 walks.
Okay.
Is not sustainable.
No.
Jake Rogers, don't lose your catcher's mask, man. You're going to be needed.
Not for nothing. Like,
Jake Rogers is horrible at the plate right now. He's so bad.
Almost feel better about Dingler if he would actually strike out a little bit more. 27%. It's high, but it's not.
You feel like it's uncomfortably not.
Yeah, like
enough.
He should be going for power more. I don't know.
He needs to be at John Kenzie Noel levels of strikeout is what he needs.
That's right.
Even if he regresses to like average, fine. It's he's a catcher who is better than who's above average at the plate and great defensively. So yeah, he's been good. It's really great because he was a second round pick in 2020, And for a little bit in 2021, it was Green, Torkelson, and Dingler. They were coming up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But then Dingler fell back and Tork and Green came up at the same time. But for a little while, it was the three of them were going to come up at the same time and like save the Tigers or whatever. And he kind of just faded in the background a little bit. But the fact that he's come up and he's been such a big difference maker has been so nice.
I do like how now the next central catcher with votes is Salvador Perez, and he's not listed on. I had to go back to like 30 games, I think, to find Salvador, and it's like -7. It's not pretty.
No, and he's been heating up a little bit in the past couple weeks, but would be nice to see him get another one under his belt. But I don't think that's gonna happen this time around.
Unless it's the token, like when they made Jeter an All-Star and they made Cabrera an All-Star, I could see maybe that type of nod, but
and they only did that because they did Pujols because he was having a really good year out of nowhere.
Right.
But I don't see just no like old guy who's like, oh yeah, he's really tearing it up all of a sudden.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and Salvi's not as old as those guys were, and not as
distinguished.
Not as distinguished either. So.
Well, he's only 34, but he's been a catcher the entire time, so there's a lot of wear on.
He's
those
old
tires.
for a catcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Catcher.
Bo Naylor kicking in with 70,000 votes.
Just proud my guy made the list.
Yeah, just barely. I'm a little the only one that I was a little bit like disappointed with. Well, actually, not true. We'll go into the outfield in a second, but Ryan Jeffers. Don't get me wrong, he's not doing well, but I would have liked to see him at least in the top 10. He's a sneaky good catcher. I mean, he has 728 OPS. He does timeshare with Vasquez a lot, so maybe just compared to maybe the worst hitter in the league, Ryan Jeffers looks like a god, but I would have liked to see him at least get in the top 10, but it's not the biggest travesty in the world. He's not going to make the All-Star team, so it's a really minor gripe.
I would have voted for Jeffers over Bo.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Take one vote away from Bo and add it to Jeffers. DHs, this was a real pitiful list. Also, I don't think the number one is going to be representing the AL. So Ryan O'Hearn's vote just went up. Ben Rice for the Yankees. There's really no one. Who's the best? I mean, Trevor Larnach for the Twins. That doesn't count. Tauchman for the White Sox.
Yeah, that's something.
And he's not even listed. I think I had to go down to 30 games for the DHs too, because I think there was only like 5 of them, and one of them was Devers. So that's not happening anymore. Jordan hasn't played, I think, much at all this year, so that's weird. And then you're looking at Brent Rooker, who probably it's going to be the shortstop. I forget the A's have one other good player.
No, Rooker should definitely have more votes. The fact that Colt Keith has that many votes. First of all, the fact that Colt Keith is our designated hitter is hilarious. But I guess it's just. It's just how we found it. But.
The outfield, shockingly pretty good. I mean, I have a little small gripe, but Aaron Judge is obviously going to do better than anyone else. Riley Green second. Really?
Yeah, I mean it's great to see him getting that many votes in terms of like recognition, like around the league. It's really good, just in terms of like he should be more recognized. He is a star player,
right? So
that's just nice to see. That's not the one I want to talk about most, but yeah, Riley Green, the fact he's getting this many votes, awesome. I mean, love to see that.
Right.
It's getting more than Mike Trout, which is definitely something.
Well, that's a legacy pick because Trout shouldn't be on this list.
He should not
no,
be
he's been good while he's been playing, but but who should be getting more votes, but is still doing it right? Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, Kwan's been his regular self, and he's been healthy, which is the biggest thing. He was on a torrid pace this time before this time last year. I was hurt about this time last year, but he stayed healthy, doing his thing, hitting above 300, playing sterling defense out there. So I'm glad to see that get recognized. I know his game is a little bit more distinct. I think we talked about that at one point. I think that probably helps him stand out. But yeah, I'm happy to see him. I wish he was above Mike Trout maybe, but looks good.
Yeah. He's not far behind.
Not at all.
A couple weeks away. Number 5. Let's talk about this BS because this is my biggest disagreement is Javier Baez, number 5.
He has the force of 2 fan bases fully behind him right now, is the thing. And also just for the bit. But he's got all of the Cubs fan base voting for him and all the Tigers. I want him in the All-Star game so bad. I don't care if others deserve it over him. It's a popularity vote. I want Javi to be the outfielder in the All-Star game because that is hilarious. Okay, can we just the fact that Javier Baez is an outfielder and could be in the All-Star game in the year 2025 is hysterical.
See, the reason that you like it is the exact reason I hate it.
He's been doing good. I mean,
this is such like an LOL click vote that I know my first 2 I want to vote for. Oh, Javier Baez.
Is Baez even, was he on the ballot as an outfielder? He had to have been, right?
He's on the ballot as an outfielder. He hasn't played outfield since Parker Meadows got back. He's playing short right now, but he's still been doing good. He went through a bit of a slump after the Red Sox game, but the other day when he got his 10-year pension thing, he had 2 home runs.
So hypothetically, if he makes the All-Star team as an outfielder, does he have to play the outfield in the All-Star game? Probably not.
He wouldn't be a starter. Do they have to put him in the outfield, or will they have to put him in at short?
Yeah, I guess as long as he's not a starter. If he was a starter, that'd be interesting. But they'd probably have to because you have a shortstop. I'm going to say real quick, I was anti-Tigers a minute ago. I don't mind this. It's the All-Star game. It's a narrative that's gone on this year. I think that's kind of cool. I know I'm not married to the idea that the All-Stars have to be the highest WAR people. It's a cool story that's happened this year that he's bounced back. I kind of like it.
If the All-Star game still meant something, then maybe it would be problematic, but the All-Star game means nothing. So
yeah, it's just like
home field advantage in the World Series.
I know, which Kansas City Royals fans ruined.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because we voted all those Royals in 2015, and then they decided, oh no, you don't.
Yeah, it's a popularity vote. It doesn't really mean anything to have. Oh, this guy had 8 All-Star game appearances, but this guy only had 7. That doesn't matter. I mean, it's fun. Sometimes it's a little annoying if it's players who have definitely been doing a lot better don't get in or whatever. But it's fine. It's
and
it's fun. I want Javi to be in the All-Star game because it's hilarious and it would be fun. I mean, he deserves so much credit this year. It's been great.
I will speak out of both sides of my mouth because I do agree the All-Star game doesn't matter as much. I'm not a fan of maybe I'm just not a fan of Baez, and maybe that's just where it comes down to it. Because I think I've taken every opportunity to crap on him, and he's done nothing but, I don't know, prove me wrong this entire year. But maybe I will just continue to be salty about Javier Baez for some stupid reason. But I
would have been behind you 100% 3 months ago. Okay, he's just been so much fun this year. I don't know. I mean, the fact that he's playing well. So a few months ago, before spring training started, I was talking with some of my friends. We're talking about Javi's contract and do we just get rid of it? Do we have to keep him on the team, et cetera, et cetera? And I said something along the lines of, "I'm just so sick of every time he starts doing moderately okay, we go, oh, is he back? I want him to either be an all-star or suck so we can cut him off the team." And what happened? He is 5th on the All-Star ballot for outfielders. So, yeah, it's been really good to see. I mean, also, I mean, I guess Glaber fixed him, hip surgery fixed him, being on a winning team fixed him, whichever point you want to point to why he's better. I don't know, but he's been playing really well.
Well, and maybe that's what bothers me about like the bias. Bothers me is probably too strong, but like there probably is no actual reason. He's just had a good 3 months.
He got hip surgery. like legitimately, he got hip surgery, and that affected him so much because he said he was not expecting to feel as good as he did when he healed up from it, and like his defense has been better. His everything about his hitting has been better because he's been laying off more pitches because he knows he can hit the stuff inside the plate better rather than just getting annoyed and desperate and swinging at everything. He's still swinging at everything, but he's not swinging as much at everything as he was last year. And I know I see that look on your face, Eric, and his stats are horrific in terms of like chase rate and whiff rate outside of the zone.
He has improved a little bit, but when we actually looked this up, it was like a percent.
It's still an improvement. An improvement is an improvement, even if it's horrible compared to everyone else. But no, you look at that and you say, okay, let me pull up this one play because
Baez's K rate and walk rate are both better than Dylan Dingler. In case we're going to use that unit of measurement. And what's going to happen here, Eric, is Javier Baez is going to make the All-Star team and Byron Buxton isn't, and you're going to lose your mind.
And that's essentially what I will actually be upset over, except for I still think Buxton is going to make it because who else on this goddamn team is going to make it?
Let me share my screen real quick. Let me show you this play. Look at where he hits the ball and look where he ends up. Okay, like, look, it's in the other batter's box, and he ends up on second.
Here's what I will say. So that's why he rewind that to the point of contact. You cannot also, in the same point, say this is why he is laying off better pitches. He's not reaching as much, and then bring up that highlight.
It seems more like he's actually just making contact now. When he swings poorly.
The next time that he does that, you can show us the highlight.
Yes.
That was some Vlad Guerrero Sr. stuff there, young Vlad.
That's all. It's Vlad Guerrero has ruined a generation. That's not true. I loved watching Vlad Guerrero.
Well, look, that's the reason he swings at those because he can hit those. He leads the team in base hits on balls outside of the zone because he can hit that thing
that
and end up on the double. It was an RBI double.
That's the most Shaq saying I made the free throws when they count type of thing I've heard.
If there's a hack a Shaq for baseball, it's throw to Javi.
I was about to say that's like saying I have the most bank shots made on my basketball team.
Right.
Now he has done it. He has played incredibly well. He has played to his contract this year and this year only. I'm just saying, in August, we're gonna be like, hey, remember when Javier Baez was good?
No, I don't know. He probably might regress, probably will regress. I don't think he's going to go back to being as horrible as he was the past few years. I think he was injured. I think he legitimately, his hip has been bothering him for years, and he got surgery on it, and it legitimately made everything better. Because there was his right hip, he couldn't lean back on it as much. He couldn't put as much power on it. He has 9 home runs this year in half the games that he played last season, and he had 6 home runs last season. He has a huge power boost because he got hip surgery. I mean, maybe his batting average will go down. Maybe he'll start chasing more, but he's got his power back, and that's huge.
Well, and famously, having surgery is always a permanent fix.
I mean, he is 32, so yeah. I mean, the power might not stick around for the rest of his contract. It's still going to be a bad contract. It's still going to be a bad deal, no matter how you slice it. But if we can say the last 3 years were decent, fine. I don't care. He's what he's doing right now is great.
I do think like him just being able to play a few different positions, like, cause honestly, if he can just have, I don't know what, like a 450 slugging percentage and can play center field and if he can play a couple positions, that's a very useful player to have off the bench.
He's
like
been a lineup MVP because we had no center fielder. He plays center field. He plays third. He plays second. I mean, he's a super utility guy, and he's batting well enough. I mean, he's just been immeasurably valuable because we're out 4 or 5 outfielders. So I don't know. 3 months ago, I would have said throw his contract in the ocean, eat it. I don't care. But now I'm like, well, maybe we can just have Javy at short every day now. So, and we're not playing him as much as we were before because he doesn't start against. I think it's against righties. We have Sweeney normally play, but he won't play as much against. So he's getting better at bats because he's playing against righties or whatever.
He's getting put in positions to succeed, which is it's good management. Good on Hinge.
Yeah. I think also might be a part of it is last season he got injured and the team got better, right? I mean, so he sees that he's on a winning team now. Maybe he needs better vibes. Like, he's on a winning team again. I don't know. Like, there's so many things you can point to. Is like maybe that's what fixed him.
Lee. I can tell you, I'm looking at Javier Baez's baseball reference page, and all the way on the right, I can see that vibes have really improved for him this year. Yeah. Last year, vibes, 1.2, not very good. This year, it's up to like 5.
You guys are so mean.
I think I've been somewhat positive. I'd like to think I've been neutral in this segment on Javier Baez. I have let my concerns well known.
You're all just haters. Javy Baez for All Star Game 2025, starting the campaign. I hate this so much.
I think we've had enough Javier Baez discussion for one podcast.
Is there anyone else on this list people would like to talk about? Like, I also saw we have. Oh my God! I just had the other Tiger in the outfield, Carpenter. Carpenter's been great, and not a lot of Central other than Buxton. But I think
Buxton should be higher. He should definitely be higher on that.
And like he had 2 home runs today. He's been great. He's healthy. I love it. But I don't need to probably drool over him more because that's the only talking point I have these days about against the Twins is how good Byron Buxton has been. The surprise, if you look at the WAR, number 11, Harrison Bader, he ain't making the All-Star team though. He might be a decent trade chip though, but that'd be about it. That 763 is kind of a mirage because you think he had 4 home runs in the first month and hasn't done much since other than played really good defense. Been a good signing, but yeah, that's the only surprise. Anybody else have a name on here that they're not hating on? No? All right, moving on. So the pitching, there's obviously no starting pitching vote, and half of these, like, if you pitch 2 days before the All-Star game, you're not going to be able to pitch it anyway, so I just did the top 20 starters and just highlighted who's ever in the division. It's no surprise Tarek Skubal is leading the American League in WAR. Bubic, Joe Ryan, Noah Cameron, which is, I didn't realize Noah Cameron had been up that long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then Lugo, and then
7 starts.
Yeah, which, God, those must have been really impressive starts. But yeah, it's almost cut in half. 7 starts. Everyone else is at 14. But yeah, he's been great.
Is there a set number of? I always forget how many starting pitchers and how many relievers they end up selecting.
15, isn't it?
Because I always forget how it works for those. Because look, the Tigers didn't have any All Stars from 2016 to last year, except for the Pity All Star selection. So, I mean, I wasn't really locked in on that. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, the Pity selection did not deserve that. It was just I had to pick a guy. Gregory Soto was our All-Star twice. So
Right.
you do with that information as you will.
This isn't necessarily related to the All-Star game, but I gotta tell, there's this funny, on Gleeman and the Geek, they had this really funny story about Joe Ryan. Maybe not really funny, but so Joe Ryan has, he's kind of just like a nerd. Like, he's a quirky dude, but like he also like tinkers a lot with his pitches and things like that. And he was doing an after start interview against the Blue Jays, and they asked him like, "Oh, so your fastball was doing really well today. What what was going on there?" He goes, "Yeah, I was doing that, but I've also been throwing some sinkers because Savant doesn't categorize my fastball as throwing a sinker, so I think they were really surprised to see those." And then they looked on his Savant page. Yeah, they didn't class. He is. Then they like once he said that, then that made the guys at Savant redo his page. So he's been throwing the last 2 years 10% sinkers instead of a 4-seam fastball. So like he probably shouldn't have said that, but I do think it was kind of funny that he was like he felt like he had this secret that the secret fastball nobody knew about that he was throwing 10% of the time.
I like that. He should have kept it to himself. Now everybody knows.
Maybe there's like another, and now it's like, well, how many other pitchers are doing that too? Like,
maybe he's throwing everybody off the scent. Maybe now he's going to throw a cutter that nobody knows about or something. I don't know.
Maybe he'll just tell everyone, "Yeah, I've been throwing this cutter," and he's not. He just wants to fucking
just lie.
There you go. Yeah.
Relievers, I pulled up 40.
Sorry, there was something I wanted to mention on starters. I apologize.
Yeah,
we were talking about White Sox that can make the All-Star team. Not pictured here, but Shane Smith has been excellent.
I think he was actually 21. If I would have went down like one more, I think he was on there.
He's a good pitcher. I think he's going to be their guy. That's all.
Yeah. Reliever, here, the All-Stars are on this page. Go ahead and pick whichever one you want. The one that did surprise me, there's no Class A. He's like 43. Which
he's just been too
doesn't matter, but
he's just been too rickety, especially early in the year. That took a while, and just unlucky. A lot of batted ball luck. So there's only so much you can do for that. I kind of wonder if he'll make it anyway, just off reputation. We'll see.
Possibly.
I seen you didn't highlight Brant Herter on here.
Oh, did I miss someone?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, Detroit.
Number 17. Yeah, I didn't realize he was that far up there in WAR in terms of for relievers. He's been really good for us this year.
I have a legitimate question. How does Aroldis Chapman keep doing it?
I mean, there's no legitimate reason why he should keep doing it.
Like, I just like even seeing his name on this list, I went, "Oh, he's with Boston? Oh yeah, that's right." It's just like he's been on so many teams, he's been playing for so many years. It's just like, man,
still throwing as hard as he was like a decade ago.
Yeah, good for him.
Like, because he's going to be. I mean, he has to have the best arm. Well, at least for sure, reliever arm of this century? I understand probably. Rivera. I'm talking like pure arm. Mariano Rivera and the cutter, pure obviously. Power. But
players who debuted this century.
I mean, he has been remarkably consistent. 50 innings. He split between two teams. 58 innings. I mean, he hasn't been injured.
I don't know how he does it. He throws 105, and he's never been injured. How?
It makes no sense why his arm is just a unicorn, or he has just dodged so many bullets.
ERA plus? What the? That's
now. What ridiculous. Is his career ERA? Yeah, a career 161 ERA plus.
And yet he plays for teams half a year at a time at this point.
Yes, I was about to say. Cincinnati he started with. New York he got traded to. I thought he was with Chicago longer than that, but I guess that kind of tracked because didn't the Yankees trade him to Chicago and then they signed him back?
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that.
They're pulling off the tarp. They might actually be able to finish this game.
Oh, if there's a 5-minute window, they're gonna. If somebody gets on base, this is a do not swing at bat.
It's
Actually, no, that's
bottom of
not
the
true.
ninth, tied game with 1 out. So
Never mind. Yeah, I was about to say I lied. Also, not that this matters to anyone, but I do like looking for a reliever. Chapman will make how much money?
Oh man,
$150 million.
there's been a lot of chatter on Tigers internet fandom to trade for Chapman at the trade deadline. So I guess Boston's selling, but I don't know how much I want to put stock on that.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere. But
Yeah,
So Sam, to answer your question, hell if I know, hell if anyone knows. But it's I think I've said on this show before that I don't think like relievers are vastly overrepresented in the Hall of Fame. I don't even think I can deny Chapman at this point. But anyway, I did think it was kind of interesting. The top 20, as far as like WAR goes, for the Central, they have 12 representatives in the top 20, which is kind of neat.
we've got good bullpens in this division.
Yeah.
I hope that one of Canely, Vest, or Hurd makes it. That would be really cool. Canely and Vest especially they've been kind of our closers, and Herder has just been a really good middle relief. He could go 2 innings or 2.1 innings. He's been really good. Vest and Canely have both been great for us. Canely has been another great off-season signing.
So, with that said, how many, and be realistic, how many actual All-Stars will be on your guys' team? Lee, you have the toughest decision. Maybe I'll let you think about that for a second.
Yeah, I'll have to think on it.
I'll start just with the Twins. I think they're going to have 2. I think Joe Ryan is probably going to be like the one that gets selected, and I think Buxton will get called as a reserve. But Sam, who are you?
I'm thinking it's Bobby Witt Jr. and Chris Kubik are going to make the All-Star team.
So you're predicting 2.
I'm predicting 2 and maybe a third if Garcia gets selected, and I think it's also possible that Carlos Estevez could get selected
in the bullpen.
So I'm going to say definitely 2 and maybe a third.
Dan?
First, Eric, who did you say for Minnesota? I was curious.
Joe Ryan, I think, will get as a pitcher,
Yeah.
and then I think Buxton will get called in as a reserve.
You don't think Duran will make it?
I don't think so. I mean, he's been good, but I think with how many token relievers they're going to have to, because a White Sox is going to be a pitcher, and I think between starters, I just don't think they'll do it.
Cool. For the Guardians, I think 3. Quan and Ramirez, and I think one of those bullpen guys, whether it's Clase, Cade Smith, or Hunter Gaddis, one of those 3 is going to make it, would be my guess.
Lee?
All right, so I'm going to try and I'm not trying to be a homer or be ridiculous, but I'm going to say...
Hold on 1 second, Lee. I have a piece of paper in front of me.
Oh, God.
I'm going to write down what number I think that you're going to say.
Can we all do this?
We can all do this if we want. I have a piece of paper. I'm going to write down what
I'm being
number
cyberbullied.
I think it is.
It's cyber because it's over the internet.
But we're doing it kind of to your face. Doesn't that
The guess is how many Lee is going to say?
Yes.
The guess is how many All-Stars is Lee going to say the Tigers will have? And then when she says it, we'll all show our number.
Okay. I have 2 numbers. One is how many I think she is going to say, and then how many I think will actually be on the team.
Great. I can't wait to see.
I really want someone to put 26, like just for. All right, Lee.
Lee, go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to say 5.
Oh,
Oh, it's so close. Okay.
What did you guys? Oh, you guys 6.
I said 6.
I said
Oh,
6,
okay.
and I put 3 as Eric's second
Did
guess.
we all say 6?
Yeah.
Ha! you
Shoot.
did. So Skubal, Green, and Torres, I think, are going to be starters, and then I think as reserves, one of Dingler or McKinstry or Javy will make it. One of those 3. I don't think multiple of those, but McKinstry has a really good shot of being reserved. Dingler and Javy might get into some a bit. And then one of our relievers. So one of Herter, Vester, or Canley. So that's 5. So 3 starters and then 2 reserved relievers.
I think.
I don't think that's that ridiculous.
This is fair. I think like for the 4, I would probably pick, or that I think you have Dingler will get in because they'll take a bunch of catchers. Oh my goodness, I think Green, Carpenter is the one I think is going to sneak in, but I also don't know how many outfielders they're going to take. And then what? Dingler, is that who else I said? Oh, it's Skubal.
Yeah, Skubal, obviously. Skubal, Torres, and Green are definitely going to be starters at this point. I don't think that's ridiculous to say. And
I changed my guess for how many they actually will have to 4. The 3 starters, and then I think Torkelson should make it. So,
also not bad.
I think he should, but I don't think he will because I think that's more popular than those other guys who are doing better and have done better for a while.
yeah.
Right.
Because he got to compete with Guerrero, and Aranda's having a great year. So Goldschmidt might get in on the starter based on the popular vote, but for like reserves, they're going to go with Guerrero or Aranda, I think.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So
someone will win the electoral vote, but not the popular vote.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think it's ridiculous to say there's going to be a reserve and one of Javy, McKinstry, or Dingler.
Yeah.
McKinstry's having a great year for him. I just want that for him because he's having a career year. So.
The only way I can kind of see 6 happening, and I know you didn't say this, we said this, is if Baez actually continues like the LOL vote to get in. Like people now just ride that in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got the Cubs fan base behind him. I mean, Cubs fans love him. So.
Yeah.
So
right. Any other thoughts on the All-Star game? It's a pretty big deep dive. That was like a hour long going position by position. But hey, what do you do?
Should we dive just into like news and feelings on all 4 teams?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a secondary topic. I don't know if that's needed this week.
I don't think so.
At this point, now.
Yeah, I think
I think that was
for a lot.
I think we just did a secondary topic on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Next time we need a topic, we just need to think, how can we bully Lee the most? And
awful.
As we're feeling just bad about what we are watching on our teams. Okay.
Yeah, it's too bad the rest of the teams decided to suck because now it's not as interesting for the Tigers to be on top of the division. But I guess it's, we're good, but like the rest of the team sucks. So, the rest of the division sucks. So maybe it's not that.
Well, Lee, famously, the Tigers are the best team in baseball.
Yeah, it's true. And have been. Without.
Yeah, I'm just going to embrace it. Yeah, we are the best team in baseball. Suck it.
This is going to make this fall so much better. Oh.
No, it's not. I'm going to cry. I already know it.
So, anyway, we'll go into news. We may as well just start with the Tigers because, for all the reasons we just talked about.
The biggest one, Jackson Jobe has to get Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
Not entirely surprising based on the injury type that he had, but it's also, he's had 12 games. He's played in technically 14 if you count the playoffs. He's played in 12 major league games, and he's 22, and he already has to get Tommy John. It sucks. I'm not as concerned for like how it's going to affect the Tiger season as I am for like how is it going to affect his career. Because guys that come back from it's basic. TJ is basically pitcher puberty nowadays, but it's just going to suck. We're not going to see him until maybe the end of 26, probably 2027. It's going to take a while for him to get up to speed because it takes a year or so of playing to get back to where they were before. It just sucks to see a young guy. And he was like figuring it out, but yeah.
On the plus side for him, he gets that major league pay the entire time he's on the injured list. So.
Yeah, there you go. He gets that sweet, sweet service time. It kind of sucked because there was also this is a little into the Tigers fan base and how insufferable we can be sometimes. But there's a lot of debate over him versus Marcelo Mayer. And on the day they announced he has to get TJ, Marcelo Mayer hits 2 home runs. And yeah, so that got a lot of people be like, oh, we should have picked, so.
Well, that's every draft. Like the Twins had Royce Lewis and Hunter Green. And I mean, you can make a case for either one. Hunter Green, I think, is just went on a lengthy IL stint or is coming, whatever. You can do that for everyone. It's
it's
easy gripe to have.
Yeah, it's just gonna be one of those things that's just gonna be annoying for the next 2 years or whatever, right? But that just really sucks for him. He got surgery, I think it was on Monday. So hopefully he rests up, recovers nicely. Just, sucks. Well, he's got guys on our team who have been through it before, and he was going to have to get it eventually. I don't know if it's better for him to get it early in his career rather than later. Yeah, just.
I mean, everyone's going to get it except for Aroldis Chapman, who we just talked about.
Apparently, yeah. That's the biggest news. We DFA'd John Brebbia, which is a little surprising, I guess, but also not surprising because we weren't paying him that much, and he sucked. So we dropped him and we selected Carlos Hernandez from the Phillies. He pitched 1 inning today in the first game. He looked really good, so maybe it's just a matter of the Phillies didn't do good coaching him, and he has good stuff, and Chris Fetter fixed him. So we'll see. For that, another demotion, we demoted Andy Ibanez because he was not doing good. His job is to hit lefties, and he had like a 700 OPS against lefties so far. So send him to the Toledo. Hopefully he'll figure some things out. And we DFA'd Badu. He stayed on the Toledo roster. He stayed in our organization to make room on the 40-day roster for Jahmai Jones. And I want to talk a little bit about Jahmai Jones because he was a minor league signing we did in the offseason, like right before spring training started. And during spring training, he was absolutely tearing it up out of nowhere. So he's played in the major leagues before. He played on the Yankees last year. He's bounced around between a few different teams, Brewers, Dodgers, Orioles, that sort of thing. And so he came up last week for a pinch hitter in the 9th inning. First pitch, home run. So, you know what? Close enough. Welcome back to the team, 2021, Akil Badu, I guess. He has 2 home runs for us so far. And yeah, he was kind of a spring training darling. He was doing really well in spring, and when we had all those injuries in the outfield, it was okay, maybe we'll start Jahmai Jones. We ended up going with Kreidler and Margot instead, which is kind of surprising to a lot of people because he wasn't even on the 40-day roster. But it looks like we're giving him a shot now since his job is going to be what Ibanez was doing, batting against lefties. And he's also a fun story locally because both his father and his older brother played on the Lions very briefly. His dad was on the team for a year as a lineman, and his brother was drafted in 2014 and stayed on the team until 2018. So it's just kind of fun. It's interesting to have a guy who family connections to Detroit. So it'll be interesting to see how long he sticks around for, how long Andy stays in the minor leagues. But so far, I mean, he doesn't have a large sample size, but he's been hitting well for us, and hopefully we get some good at-bats out of him.
Yeah.
Yep. Veerling and Olsen are doing rehab in Toledo. Veerling is going to be starting playing in the field soon. Olsen has just mostly been in Toledo to keep his pitch count up. He plays today. I don't know if he's going to be throwing his changeup because he didn't throw his changeup his last rehab start. And that's the pitch we really need out of him because that's his getaway pitch. So
what is he on rehab for?
That's right ring finger inflammation.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, what? Because like the change. Do you know what kind he throws? Is it a circle change or what?
No idea. I know, but I know apparently because in the reports like that I've read about him, he uses his fourth finger for his changeup, so that's why he's not throwing his changeup. I don't know what kind of configuration he does for that. Not my area of knowledge at all, but apparently he hasn't been throwing his changeup a lot. And maybe that'll change today because I think the game for Toledo started like just a little bit ago. Maybe we'll see him throw his changeup. In his last start, he didn't throw it at all. It's just more of like making sure he still has endurance to throw 50 pitches. So yeah, and Alex Cobb got an injection in his other hip, which is fantastic. So maybe he'll never make it up. And but Alex Lang started rehabbing in West Michigan, which is good to see because he had a really bad. He described it as like I think it was his lat. He described it as if the tendon was pulled off the bone, which is gross. But he was looking good for us last year before he got that injury. But he can be some very much needed bullpen help.
Went to the same high school as me, Alex Lang.
Oh,
Proud
no way.
Lee Summit West graduate. Yep.
And he's a big jerk, right? Just the worst person.
He actually, he knew he's the same class as my sister, so they knew each other a little bit. But yeah, I don't have anything negative or positive to say about him as an individual.
Well, fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Tigers news. Mostly negative. A little bit of positive in there, but kind of just sucks. Pitching injuries galore, I guess.
Rats couldn't happen to a better team. Oh man. Oh.
All right.
I do like how the Tigers have been good for 100 games, and we're already tired of them.
Yeah, come on. We've had it for Tigers have been good for 100 games, and all of a sudden everyone hates us again. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in the division at least. You know what? Keep on hating.
I will hate them until October when every other team is eliminated, and then we'll see how they do against the Yankees.
Tigers are undefeated against the Yankees in the playoffs. Never lost a series to them in the postseason.
All right.
We swept them in 2012. That was awesome.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Wait, you can sweep the Yankees in the playoffs? I thought that was only the other way around.
It used to happen a lot more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Cleveland, any real news in Cleveland?
So I thought you guys maybe had done the news earlier, and that's why I went on a tangent about our Giants series. But I do have a couple news and notes to do. So first of all, Lee, Alex Cobb is perpetually a month away from being a month away. So don't, as somebody with experience, don't expect anything out of that.
I think I've lowered my expectations to maybe we can get 8 good starts out of him.
Try maybe 3.
Out of the bullpen.
And then a really lousy playoff start. Again, I know from experience.
His agent has to be the best in the business, right? Is it
$15 million?
That guy got $15 million.
Yeah, just stole it from 2 teams.
I can't believe we beat up on him in Game 3 of the ALDS. We're like, yeah, let's give this guy $15 million. We want that.
Meanwhile, Shane Bieber got like 17, I think, or 18. Oh. Also injured, but significantly better pitcher. Anyway, I was going to talk about Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan and how close they are in the All Star ballot. Ramirez running away with 3rd, Kwan's in 4th for outfield. We've gone over that well enough, but there is one AL Central representative to the All Star game already, and that is Guardians manager Stephen Vogt, who was selected to the coaching staff this week by Aaron Boone. Former, last year's manager of the year will be in attendance at the All-Star game this year, even though he decided to throw Matt Festa the 3rd day in a row today.
Wait till Boone hears that.
Yeah, right. Couple other things injury-wise. Trevor Stephan, relief pitcher, haven't seen him for about a year and a half. He is starting a rehab assignment in AAA. He's coming off of Tommy John surgery, like many others. But they need the bullpen depth this year in the way they haven't the last couple. I think it would be an added boost to get him back. He was somebody who was pitching the 7th, 8th inning when he was on the team a couple years ago. So he could be a legitimate help to that bullpen. But yeah, rehab assignment is starting here in the coming days. Additionally, one other guy coming back from Tommy John surgery in that bullpen is Eric Zabrowski. I talked about him last week. He made another rehab appearance in Columbus today, actually. He threw an inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 20 pitches, no runs. Seems a little wild. I know he had a couple walks in the first outing as well, but seems to be on the right track. Command will hopefully come with time. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, and I don't have a clip of this, I wish I did, but I saw this on the internet. Not actually technically not a Guardians related thing, but there was a play earlier this week where Miles Straw, former Guardian, was in the outfield, ran into the outfield wall in Toronto and was down on the ground for a minute. And this happened, just so happened to happen when the Arizona Diamondbacks were in town. So the scene that appeared was Straw trying to collect himself after the play had ended, and Andres Jimenez had run out to the infield, his teammate in Toronto, but so had Naylor. So 3 former Guardians all kind of converging, and a couple guys just looking out for their, in one case, current, but also in one case, former teammate out in the outfield. It was just kind of a cool moment that those guys apparently still have a little bit of camaraderie, even though they've all kind of departed the city. So, like I said, I wish I would have found the clip for that. I didn't, but it was on the internet, and I thought that was just a neat little story. I believe Straw ended up being okay, but his former Guardians brethren were out there looking out for him. And other than that, we are in second place, a mere 10 games behind the Detroit Tigers. And
9.5. Let's be a lot more accurate.
Is it 9.5?
Or is it 10 now? No. Or is it 10 now because you lost? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, the Tigers
won today, so.
The thing we had earlier was 9.5. So that's what I was going.
The point being, striking distance. So.
Yeah, just a month away.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not going to get too confident over a 10 or 9.5 game division lead this early on. 2 months
you just
from now,
say
we
20
can
minutes ago that you were going to embrace the best team in baseball bit?
Hey, I'm going to embrace it, but I'm also not going to get cocky about it.
I don't think that's possible.
I'll end on one other item, and that's that the Guardians are now headed to Oakland. Or I'm sorry, not Oakland, Sacramento. And if anything can jumpstart an offense, hopefully it's going to that bandbox of a ballpark. So fingers crossed.
Just I haven't heard great. That's rumored why Pablo Lopez was hurt is because the mound was apparently really hard and he had to I don't know. It's all BS. He got injured because whatever. But because the mound was so hard, he couldn't grip with the spike, so he had to, in order to maintain his velocity, he had to whatever.
Yeah,
is that all BS? Probably, but it's rumored. And then also their warning track is so big.
I've heard that.
Swear to God, it's twice as big as other warning tracks.
I've heard that it definitely is. It's not just a you thing. Yeah, I
don't know. It's just weird, is what it is. So I'll move on to the Twins. I'll be brief because there's really not that much. Royce Lewis went on the IL again. It's another soft tissue injury. This one's a mild hamstring injury. We've talked at length. It kind of sucks because his batting average was above 300 in the last 10 games. It didn't come with that much power. It didn't come with that much plate discipline, but whatever. He had a good 10-game stretch for considering how bad he has been. I mean, it looked like there was sign of life, and then he gets shut down for 2 weeks. So I don't know what to do with Royce. I don't think Royce knows what to do with Royce. It just kind of sucks to see another Byron Buxton type talent kind of go down this road. But we'll see. He's still 25, 26. Seems like he's been at least in the conversation of the majors for the last 5 years or so. He just can't stay on the field. The Twins made a minor trade. Jorge Alcala, who was actually part of the Ryan Presley trade, I believe, in 2018. And he was traded with Gilberto Celestino, if anyone remembers him. He played the outfield for the Twins for like 2 years. He was a fourth outfielder type. Alcala throws a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and has no idea where it's going. He gets crushed by left-handed pitchers, which is, yeah, not great. He had a really good stretch at the start of last year, and then for the last 50 innings, he has been god awful. I think he literally gave up like 15 home runs in 50 innings, which is not what you can do as a reliever. But maybe the most crushing news is the Twins signed the best name in baseball to a minor league contract, and he opted out. So, RIP to Richard Lovelady and his Twins tenure. Is there a reason to bring up Richard Lovelady? No, not really. Just has a funny name.
Oh, I didn't know he was drafted by the Royals.
I think he played for them, actually. I
He
think that was the
did,
team that
yeah.
brought him up.
Look at that.
Yeah. How many innings did he pitch for the Royals?
He pitched
41.
Oh, a lot. Okay. Yeah. Or some.
But I will say, why Kauffman Stadium does not have a section of Richard Lovelady jerseys every game, I don't understand it. But that's it for the Twins.
Too bad he and Dick Mountain can't share a team.
What I mean, you can't have Dick Mountain Lovelady. I don't. That's actually that sounds real dirty. If you say that real fast, I don't like. I feel dirty suddenly.
So the Royals are in the midst of some not great ball as of late. Some kind of bad news mixed with some very recent good news. The Royals had as I mentioned a little bit ago, very pathetic homestand. Got swept by the Yankees, then proceeded to get swept by the A's. Scored 11 runs across that 6-game homestand. Cole Reagan's got not a same injury that he had the last time we spoke, but he had a setback. They're shutting him down for a month, looks like. He has a rotator cuff strain. So, as I've discussed, his injury-plagued season is just continuing. And I was a little bit optimistic about him because all of his injuries prior to this were lower body injuries. And now we have not obviously necessarily an arm related, not an arm injury, but an arm related injury. So it'll be good news is he doesn't need surgery. So we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully at worst he's able to come back at some point if the Royals are making a push for the playoffs late in the season. But if not, he might just get shut down for the year for, safety purposes. So yeah, not a whole lot going on transaction-wise outside of that. A couple of moves. Jonathan Bolin got sent back down. Some little things here and there. So not a ton of news off the field. However, on the field, as of about 5 or 6 hours ago, Jack Caglione hit the first and second home runs of his young major league career this afternoon in Texas. They were about to the same part of the ballpark, but separated by about 30 feet. The second one was about, I think it was like 420 something, and the first one was like 390 something. So he was able to show off some of his power today. So it's good for him to finally get that weight off of his shoulders and get into the home run column finally. Yeah. So good for him. But outside of that, good 3-game series against Texas, was able to have some power and score some runs and win some games. But hope the trend needs to continue, to say the least.
I just had a minor White Sox. I mean, minor. They made a major league roster move. Also, obviously, Oren isn't here today. I think we might be doing either a very brief White Sox episode or we'll attach it down to this one. We're not quite sure yet, but look out for that. But the White Sox and the Brewers made a trade because Aaron Savali did not want to go to the bullpen, and so he asked to be traded, and Chicago officially gave up on Andrew Vaughn and traded him off to the Brewers. Savali, Dan's going to know more about him than any of us. He throws 1,000,000 pitches. He's been a league average pitcher for a while. Dan, is that right?
I say that's about right. He's a bit of a pitch to contact guy who generates, weak contact pretty well. But you're right. He throws a high mix of pitches, and I think calling him a league average pitcher is probably accurate.
Yeah, which is fine. I haven't looked really too much on it, what his contract status is. I think he signed with the Brewers last year and was in their rotation the entire time. And then
I think this is the last year of his contract. I think I saw.
So, will he be traded 5 weeks from now? High possibility, but it's kind of interesting to completely give up on Andrew Vaughn for essentially a rental player on a team that's going to be selling.
Somebody that is at arm's length, check me on this. Would you rather have Andrew Vaughn or Kyle Manzardo?
Manzardo,
right?
Yeah, I'd agree. Manzardo for sure.
Because Aaron Savali has been traded for both of those people at this point. Just interesting. Just interesting. And that's how Savali left Cleveland. He was traded to Tampa for Kyle Manzardo, and they traded him at a moment where they were kind of selling high on him to get what was a top 100 prospect at the time. He had a really good first half of the year, and has kind of regressed back into being an average pitcher since.
I would not be surprised if an Andrew Vaughn with good coaching.
Yeah,
actually,
I could see that too.
I feel like maybe not with this regime, but also we don't know that yet either because they're 2 years old. But Andrew Vaughn and what was the GM's name for forever for Chicago, Kenny Williams. I mean, who did they develop that didn't completely flop? But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of turns it around for another team. I just don't know if it was going to happen in Chicago.
I feel like Andrew Vaughn is kind of one of those rip the Band-Aid off type of players where it's totally possible that he could turn it around. And it's also one of those things where, you kind of get rid of a player and you have that weight off your shoulders gone. Yeah. Like, I remember this was very much a thing with the Royals and Adalberto Mondesi.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because of injury, but it was also kind of like, okay, we're finally past this. We can finally,
right,
admit this mistake and move on.
Well, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but Chicago, this is Getz's second or third season?
I think it's his third.
Outside of Benintendi and Robert, that roster has completely flipped, hasn't it? Who else has played longer?
I'm not sure.
But
there might be like a reliever or something, but yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if now this is all. I mean, Getz was the minor league coordinator or whatever they're whatever. He certainly has blame coming for what's on the field now, but maybe this was his last. We'll get 2 months out of Savali and then trade him for maybe something we can get value of.
This is his second. This is his second full season.
Getz's? Okay.
Yeah, that's his second full season. He was promoted to GM in August of 23.
Yeah. So interesting move.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much will really come out of it. So unless there is anything for the betterment of the group, I think we can kind of put a bow on this one.
Now, have we talked about Javy Baez today? I feel like he needs some more discussion.
Nope. I think let's rehash this. Go ahead. Lee, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's fine. I think I've talked about it enough.
Do we not have any predictions or anything this week?
No. Oh, actually, I should go over the schedule. You're right. Look at me being just a fantastic host. Yeah, no predictions this week, and it's going to end up being next week because no of the Central teams play each other for 2 straight weeks. So
Wow.
the Tigers play Tampa Bay, Oakland, and then finally play the Twins next Saturday. The Guardians finish up in Oakland, or sorry, San Francisco,
Not
go
just
to
me.
Sacramento, Toronto, and then St. Louis. Twins going to the Brewer or playing in Target Field for the Brewers. The Mariners again for 4 series. Can't wait to see Cal Raleigh again. That's going to be so fun. The Royals, and then going to the Tigers next Saturday. Then you have the Royals playing the Padres, Rays, and then the Dodgers. Good luck with that. Then the White Sox, Blue Jays, D-backs, and then going up to the Giants. So yeah, another second straight week where we don't have to predict anything.
Cool.
So yeah, sorry. So with that, I think we'll put a bow on this one. But thank you for anyone who's watched and listened. We will talk to you guys later.